It's Monday, and we're live on the Metal Lab again. It's just myself and Mike this week. Say hello to everybody, Mike.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, sorry, provincial champion of Ontario, Mike.
That is my proper title.
I apologize for not addressing you properly, sir.
You have not bowed you.
And just a reminder, the Metal Lab is brought to you in part by HC Realms. If you happen to be on the hcrealms.com website and you want to be buying some of their cool t-shirts in the shop section, use the coupon code MARRIED for 10% off, and it will also support the channel. Look at this. Mike here is sporting the Indomitable t-shirt, which is available on the shop right now, as well as some of the ROC maps in paper form as opposed to the normal cool felty form. Rubber felt, that's what we'll call it.
Like silk.
Yeah. So as far as news this week, we've got a ton of previews to go through, and I guess we can continue our conversation about Wave 1. I just finished my month 2 event, so I'm done with Wave 1 as far as Age of Ultron is concerned, and I've got everything but the chases all lined up. I got 2 ID cards on the way, and that's about all I got left, so good news for me.
Cool. Awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got quite a bit still missing, but I've got my final event on Wednesday to go to, so I'm hoping to get some things. I've already done some trading for some of the ID cards, but I am still missing Jocasta, so I would like to have that in my clutches.
Yeah, Jocasta was actually the last one I managed to procure, and it's the only thing this time around that I purchased, though I haven't gone hunting the chases yet, so time will still tell on that one.
Well, I have an extra dice cup, which I am trying to trade for a Jocasta card. So if anybody wants that, let me know.
It's an HC Realms Dice Cup. So that said, I guess we get to spend a lot of time on our previews this week. So I'm going to start right now with the oldest of the ones that we haven't covered on the show, and that is the 6-armed Ultron, the Age of Ultron, if you will. So he comes in at a whopping 250 points, but you get what you pay for. He's indomitable, 9 range with 3 targets. He's got energy explosion to go with those 3 targets. He's got the first 2 clicks have the special attack or damage power where he has Mastermind, Outwit, and Stealth. Also packing Invincible to go with that. Then he moves into his 3rd click there, which has this cool movement ability where he can use Charge, and he can be given a close combat action to make 3 close combat attacks with his damage value locked at his printed value. Now, I want to point out that the first click he has 5 damage with 11 attack. Holy smokes. Also, because it's only a close combat action to target or to trigger the triple attack, he can use it in conjunction with the charge.
And there's no limitation because it's not a free action for each attack or anything like that. So it doesn't get by the Green Battery or White Witch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very cool.
Absolutely. And then we move on to his special defense power. He can use Regeneration. On a result of 1 or 2 after actions resolve, he can use either Flurry or Pulse Wave as a free action. So if you look at the dial where he's got it on these last 3 clicks here, he's got Pulse Wave and he's got Flurry. So really, with the Regeneration and the probability control, you're either healing or actually doing something. It's a no-risk regeneration, which is a very amazing effect.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah. So let's talk about this version of it first, Mike. Let's get your thoughts to start it off.
Okay, well, first of all, I'll do a quick thumbs up for Sealed. Yeah. Very, very good. Like, it's practically the win. And, I mean, there's no guarantee, but, yeah, there's a very good chance you're going to win if you do pull this guy. In terms of Constructed, also, thumbs up. I really feel like this is the one-man army that we've been waiting for in this set because there isn't a whole lot of what I would consider to be competitive level play stuff that's come with Wave 1 or Wave 2 in particular. There's a few choice pieces, but not nearly as many as were in, for instance, Trinity War. That was just chock full of things you could use. The charge triple attack thing is insane, absolutely insane. So, I mean, right off the bat, I'm thinking 250 points. It leaves me 50 points, so automatically parallax in the yellow battery. I don't want to give away too much, but I mean, I think that would be a really, really good combination because you're going to get the -2 to other people's attacks, plus you're going to get the +1 to your own values, except for damage. So you're effectively you have 10 movement, 13 attack, and 19 defense, just from pairing him like that. Or you could go another way. You could do Justin with him, so that you're doing even more attacks than you already are. But then you have 10 points left over, and it's like, well, it's not really enough for a resource unless you're playing Golden, because the Bat Belt is now Golden, and that's obviously very recent as of July 1st.
Yep.
Really, really, really solid piece. I would play this in a heartbeat. I mean, this is really, really cool overall. What do you think?
As far as Sealed is concerned, he seems pretty solid, but I want to see how much outwit there is in Wave 2. Because unlike the Phalanx Ultron, this guy doesn't come with the Power Cosmic. So he is susceptible to outwits, and that includes his Indomitable. Now, that said, what you approached with the one-man army version, playing with Parallax and the Yellow Battery, one of the first things that comes to mind is putting Psychic Blast on that first click with 12 attack, 13 attack with a Yellow Battery and a Construct, and 6 move running shot because 5 replaced and modify, right?
Yep, exactly.
And then I think Parallax even has a higher movement, so you get a +2 to the movement. So, and you bring it up to a 10 range with the +1. So in a nutshell, you've got a ton of pluses by making this guy Parallax worthy, and then you can do a ton of damage to a big cluster of characters, or just a lot of damage to one character on his own, and kind of survive the counterattack. Now, unfortunately, the Mastermind on him is going to do him no good in that sense, because you have nobody to throw the damage onto. Although you could, I wanted to say you could bring some 3-point pogs, but guess what? Those are gone.
Well, you could bring out some pogs in general. They're not going to be 3 points anymore, but they're still going to be fairly low cost, and you could just use them as Mastermind fodder, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. All of a sudden forgot that I was sharing my screen and flipped to my Facebook. Oops. But yeah, and then the fact that he comes without wit and stealth, so he's not going to get counterattacked as hard. Pretty decent. So yeah, in a nutshell, this guy is very playable as a one-man army if you're willing to do that, because the Parallax or the Sinestro Core Battery makes that possible. And in Sealed, he's going to be a lot of people's problems, depending on the amount of outwit we see from the set. Because we've only seen maybe a handful of what's going to be in the set. I'd say maybe about a third. So now that said, all these Ultrons come with a drone mode. So now these two traits are the same on all of them, autonomous or drone mode. It either costs 120 or 30 points, but doesn't matter how much you spent, he's considered 120 points. I want to bring up something really neat about that I've been seeing a lot lately. In a nutshell, though, what you see is what you get. This guy's got a ton of powers, and what you see on the dial is what he ends up having. And this one, when played at 120, lots of Pulse Wave and Flurry with late dial plasticity. 30 points, you get the standard Sidestep Invulnerable, 10 attack, 3 damage, followed by Flurry, Pulse Wave, 18 defense with Impervious, and 3 damage without wit. So, Mike, drone mode, what are you thinking on this guy?
I'd pretty much consistently say thumbs up for all of the drone modes. I like the second click on the drone mode in particular. You know, having the Flurry or Pulse Wave, there is amazing with Outwit, also Impervious, so you may not be taking any damage even if they hit. Yeah, really, really solid overall.
Yeah. One of the things I learned this week playing in the Age of Ultron, or thought and immediately went to, and I think Kenny mentioned this when he was talking about Paris's team, that using a drone at 30 points makes the 30-point drones better at using ID cards than any Avenger. Because you spend 30 points with the ability to bring out a character up to 120 points with an ID card.
Yeah.
So the potential on that is absolutely insane.
It's nutty.
Yeah, it is very nutty. I was using an Ultron 8 when I did that, and I came to the realization that I could do that and then charge somebody with a Hulk. So,
yeah.
Also, when I mentioned this, at our store, we are allowing the round table for play in the Age of Ultron tournament, and the ID cards from the Fast Forces, previous months and the month that we're playing. We give out the Hulk ones at the beginning of it, so you get a chance to use it. And it's been a pretty cool resource thus far. I really got to stop playing against Phalanx Ultrons, though. Funny coincidence. Every single chase at our store that's been pulled has been the Phalanx Ultron.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of him as well. Not a lot of the 7. I know Ryan Gendron pulled the 7 at our store's first month one. But I've seen there was also the Phalanx, and I saw 2 Phalanxes pulled by the same guy.
Wow.
Yeah. At 401's month one as well. That was just crazy.
I want that guy's luck.
What was weird about that was he was pissed because he got 2 identical packs. It wasn't just the Phalanx Ultron wasn't. They were 2 identical packs. It's like, well, if you're getting 2 Phalanx Ultrons out of it, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let that one go.
And the Phalanx Ultron on drone mode is pretty spectacular. The soldier keyword just puts him over the top.
Yeah.
All right.
Teams.
Yeah. So we move next to Ultron again. But the future Ultron, the spiky, if you get a really good look at him, he's true heavy metal right here. Look at the spikes. Look at that. So metal.
So retro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of want to watch Hellraiser with that. That said, he's got a trait. He can use energy shield and deflection and impervious. Traded energy shield, traded impervious.
Before we go on, though, we didn't really talk about the 120 point on the previous figure, the Ultron Age of Ultron drone.
Didn't we just talk about that?
Did we talk about the full? Anyway, whatever.
Yeah. He has a lot of flurry, a lot of pulse wave.
That's it, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
In a nutshell.
But traded energy shield and traded impervious. Get out of my house. Ignores characters for movement, which is probably one of the better improved movements in the thick of battle.
Yeah.
He's got a white movement power that gets late dial. Give him a free action and choose an opposing character. That character's player chooses 1. Deal the chosen character 2 unavoidable damage and deal Ultron 1 unavoidable damage.
Yeah.
Or heal Ultron a 1 damage. That is Sophie's choice right there. I don't want to be dealing with that.
No.
As well, this character is consistently 17 defense across the board. Add in that energy shield at range, he's 19 defense, the whole dial.
Yeah.
He's got a special damage power. Give Ultron a power action and choose a direction. When you do, Ultron can use ignores characters and can shoot out of base and makes a ranged combat attack with an area of effect, including all characters within range and line of fire along that direct line, dealing 3 penetrating damage to each hit character. So if you can draw a straight line to multiple characters along that line, you could be dealing 3 penetrating damage to each of them with a successful hit. Now this power comes at clicks 2, 3, and 4. And he comes in at a value of either 270 or 200. Mike, what do you think of the future Ultron?
Oh, he's really cool.
He is.
He's just really cool. Just unusual, though, the total power makeup of him. I really like that last power you were talking about, where you're hitting with a locked damage value or penetrating damage, to each character of 3. Plus the improved targeting on top of the improved movement, both dealing with characters in that way. Fantastic. I would probably be more likely to play him at the 200 point value because he does get that damage power right away.
Yep.
And you're still dealing with the same stats. It's 7, 11, 13, 4. It's the same as the previous ones. The only difference being that there's no pulse wave. Let me see here. Use energy shield to fight. Yeah, 19 defense with super senses, right there.
And impervious.
And impervious. Very, very useful. And that Sophie's choice, as you said before, just really, really good.
That's punishment for playing against this guy. It's like, oh, you're playing against me? By the way, make this choice for you.
Yeah. How should I poop on you? Yes, here you go.
Yeah. I have to agree. Myself, at 200 points, he's definitely a standout. Even though the dial is short, you also got to forget every single one of those clicks also comes with impervious. Also comes with energy, comes with regeneration. Very consistent stats. His attack never drops below a 10. Mid-dial, poison, and perplex. To bump that already obnoxiously incredibly hard to deal with defense that he has. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. This is actually the first time I've seriously looked at this character in order to get an idea of what he does, and this is my new big want.
Just a little, really exotic.
Yeah, I this is the one I want to pull. As far as the super rares are concerned for Wave 2. I've been actually doing really well as far as super rares are concerned for pulls this time around. Not like my War of Light or Fear itself, where super rares were a rarity at best. So now we move into drone mode of the same guy.
Say super rare there. I actually thought he was a chase just because of what he has.
Yeah, no, this is just a super rare.
Yeah.
The Wave 2 chases are the 18.2 and the 6-hour one.
Yeah, no, just because of the way he is, like how good he is, I thought he would be a chase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also not that complex if you think about it.
Does what he does.
Yeah. So this one's, of course, autonomous or drone, and it also has a basic programming, so I don't need to go over those. Those already exist. We kind of understand them in a nutshell. He's got a special attack power, which he has on clicks 2 through 5. Which is he can use poison, deals penetrating damage when using it. If Ultron possesses this power after taking damage from an attack, deal the attacker 1 unavoidable damage. So it's kind of a Mystic's for punishment for putting him on his poison click as well, which is really freaking cool. And if you have he's got invulnerable, so we're talking about in a sealed environment. If you deal 1 damage to him, you're sucking it up. And that takes 3 to get past that. That's assuming you haven't got away past the invulnerable. And then he's got on the last 3 clicks, invulnerability and regeneration. That means every single click of the 120-point version has invulnerable. He's got close combat expert on quite a few clicks. 6 range, as most of them do. And of course, he's got the 30.1, which mirrors click 1 and click 2 of the autonomous 120-point version. Mike, what do you think of this guy at 120?
You have a stat modifier on everything except for the first click, which is amazing. You know, I mean, the one thing that I am continually kind of irritated by is just the lack of running shot and the lack of charge in a lot of cases. Mm-hmm. But considering it in the set itself, it's really good. I would use the 120 value. Always has less chance of being used by me than the 30-point value, because that 30-point drone mode with that, appearing as 120 points, just so much flexibility within that, as we discussed previously. But yeah, I mean, 3 clicks of regeneration near the end, he's going to be tough to take down.
Yeah, regeneration that comes with invulnerability, I might add too.
Yeah, invulnerability.
Yeah,
that reveal take a damage thing too. That's insane.
Yeah, because if you only deal 3 damage to the 30-point drone mode, he pretty much pays for himself by dealing 1 damage to some characters, because it's 1 unavoidable damage.
Yeah.
So, yeah, in a nutshell, I like this one just as much as the other version of it, and I'd be hard-pressed to choose. I guess it would depend on what I pull. If I pull enough to justify this guy at 120, I'll play him at 120. If I need a big tanker, I'll play the 200-point version of this guy first.
Well, he also has that improved movement, which is nice to carry over from the other version. The improvement avoids or ignores characters.
Yeah,
that's my favorite improved movement. Period is ignores characters.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting around characters, because it's nothing worse than having a breakaway sidestep.
Plasticity is my enemy.
Yeah, and not this guy's.
Nope.
So we move on next to War Machine, the most polarizing figure ever created, if you check the internet about this. So let's start with his trait. He can use Energy Shield. This is becoming an irritating trend right now in this set. That's what, 2 characters we've talked about with traded Energy Shield? I want to also note, before we get much further, he's uncommon. 200-point character. So we talked about he's got traded Energy Shield, so if he's at range, add +2 to his defense across the board. He's got special attack power, which he starts with and has it for the first 4 clicks on the dial, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Give War Machine a free action and choose a standard attack power on this card. War Machine can use the chosen power until he chooses again. Now, at a character with range 7 with 3 bolts, I want to point out what his choice of powers are. Psychic Blast, Pulse Wave, Precision Strike, Energy Explosion. If you need it at range, he's got it.
Yeah.
He's got a special damage power. War Machine targets more than one opposing character with a ranged combat attack. He can use probability control for that attack. And then everything else is very colorful on the dial. He sees a bit of a defense slip on click 4, which jumps back on click 5, and then kind of slips down towards the end. So he's got this fragility, or he's got a fragile stigma around him. Mike, what do you think? Let's get your opinions of this first, and then I'll play devil's advocate with you.
I would definitely play him in sealed. I mean, especially since he's going to be so readily available as well. Mm-hmm. The fact that he has 19 defense from range, he's meant to be kept at range just with everything, the way they've stacked it all up. He's a stealth buster with ESD. Both of those are traded. I mean, as soon as I see a pick a power, I always think of Pulse Wave, but they reward you for not using Pulse Wave, or using at least double target Pulse Wave in this particular case. Yep. Because then you get the prob on top of it. But with 4 damage, I'd be tempted to just use Psychic Blast a lot of the time, as we were talking about before the show started.
Yep.
Overall, pretty solid. I mean, it looks like a more traditional dial, I guess, from a couple sets ago. Doesn't really match a lot of what we've seen in this particular set, but it's kind of refreshing, and I think I would really enjoy playing with him.
Yeah. And for the most part, I'm kind of there with you. Where in sealed, you'll more likely see me with this guy on the board with sealed. But at the same kind of time, for future knowledge, if you will, he does have an ID card coming in Nick Fury Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right.
So there's that potential. If you guys have been paying attention or were paying attention to what Kenny said, his team could make use of this guy on the sideboard. He does ignore hindering, which is a solid improved targeting. And never underestimate the power of triple target precision strike. If you've got a lot of super senses driving you nuts, or even mastermind, this guy can deal with it. He's got the answer to a lot of things, but if he's not put in the right position, you can end up exposing him, which is, of course, dangerous play. He's got the ever-improving pilot keyword. I would also notice that pilot isn't in italics. Does that mean pilot is not generic? What's going on here? I'm going to ignore that for now. But yeah, overall, he's better in sealed for sure. Constructed is going to take some work to make him work, but it can happen. And future view of ID card can definitely help with this character. So next up, Giant Man or Shrinking Man. Is he giant or is he shrinking?
I think it depends on your perspective.
Yep. So this Giant Man, like all other Hank Pym characters, since the collector set, has the morph trait. The morph many identities, if you will. Give Giant Man a move or close combat action to morph him into another Hank Pym. I don't want to go too deep into details with that. Now, here's an interesting trait that I like. Stand tall next to Hulk and Thor. If another friendly character with the Avengers keyword and a damage value of 4 or more hits an opposing character, Giant Man may make a close combat attack as a free action this turn. That's cool. There's a lot of Avengers with 4 damage. I think we just talked about one.
I was just thinking about that. Yeah, you could throw in 100 points with War Machine. It would be great.
Yeah, and that's traded, not limited in point value. So that's just any version that you see in front of us right now.
Yeah.
He's got a special attack value, which he has on his last 3 clicks, which is also all 3 clicks for the 50-point version. He can use Quake with a lock damage of 3. When he does, after actions resolve, destroy all objects, walls, and blocking terrain within 2 squares. And then for the rest of that, it's a very colorful dial. 158, 100, or 50 points. Mike, what do you think of this one?
50 points. That crazy destroys everything click just, turns my crank. I would possibly play him at 100 points as well, because he'd make for a great tie-up piece, especially with that close combat trait. So you've got, as we were saying before, War Machine in the background, managing to hit that turn, and you're actually holding the guy down and then pummeling him. I think best describes how I'd probably use this guy. I don't think I would use him at 158. Too pricey. I mean, I like the outwit there, but he is expensive for what you get.
Yeah, I think the 158 point version is more suited for ID cards, and the 100 and the 50 point versions are more suited for gameplay for sure. Empower is a great team ability, especially once you get him in close. If you can actually charge in with another character in close combat with 4 damage, is this is it printed 4? No, it's a damage value of 4, so that can be modified. So if somebody comes in, deals 4 damage, well, not deals 4 damage, but
they just have to have a damage value of 4. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that can trigger some extra attacks out of him, and already that damage has been increased by the Empower. So all in all, very cool at 100 or 50 points. Very cool ID character if you have a pointy character up there. Also want to point out that trait could come in handy as well when making an attack with a character if you've ID'd him in, getting some extra value out of it, if you will.
Yeah, that's great, actually. That's a good way to look at it. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah. And Scientist keyword is becoming very, very, very strong, more and more.
The next guy is going to hurt him, though. The next
because the next guy is Yellow Jacket, another version of Yellow Jacket. This one comes in only at 100 or 50 points. He's also got the Many Identities Morph trait, but he's got a secondary trait. When Yellow Jacket uses Morph, he may be replaced by a character with the Morph Hank Pym trait instead. Now, I'm not sure if the Morph Many Identities and Morph Hank Pym are separated by the Age of Ultron and the Hank Pym collector set. I didn't think to research that ahead of time.
I didn't even think about that,
Yeah. But this could also be, I believe, the Chaos War one. Whoops, what am I doing with my life? The Chaos War one had something very similar occur with it. As far as the morph trait, because I remember that one back in the day has it. So I'm just going to take a quick second while I'm rambling and vamping. You know what? How about let's talk about his damage power before I get into that. Yellow Jacket can use Perplex and Shape Change when attacking a character with a morph trait, a morph trait. So that also includes any character like Beast Boy or the word morph in their name. Modify Yellow Jacket's attack and damage values by +2. Mike, what do you think of this one?
I think he's great. I mean, considering the set has so much morph in it, I just did a quick scan through it, and I couldn't find anything that said anything except for Many Identities within the Age of Ultron OP set. But yeah, I mean, you're getting effectively, like if you play him at his full point value, 100 points, you're getting a 12 attack, 5 damager against a lot of your opponents, in sealed specifically. In terms of constructed, no. But
yeah,
that's okay. That's really not what this guy is for.
Yeah. And I did just do a quick scan. We're going to be, when he refers to the Morph Hank Pym trait, we're talking about the Chaos War one. So that's more of a Golden Age ability in general.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
it's nice that they're being inclusive with that as well, though.
Yeah, I noticed that. There's been a little bit of Golden Age inclusion. I mean, I know the Dick Grayson set came out a little late, and just as it came out, the Robin worked with the Teen Titans base, which got cycled out with the Teen Titans set. So there's still a little bit of love for the Golden Age coming out of this this game. And, you know, I still haven't seen any previews of an Ares to match that that ID card.
There's got to be one coming really soon.
I'm hoping Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or the Nick Fury Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has it.
Field set.
Yeah.
I'm crossing my fingers for it. If
Maybe
not,
we'll
probably end up with one in Superman and Wonder Woman.
Oh God!
Because you can still use them, even though it's crossover. You'll still be able to use it.
Yeah, and you know there is a chance that we do that of that set. Although I was saying,
colossal version of Ares.
Stop that! Stop taking colossal slots. That could be my camo.
You know, Camo's going to be in there for sure. Yeah. Now I've just jinxed it, and it just won't happen.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for that, by the way. You're welcome. Oh man. So now I'm going to take a chance to ramble about my personal experience in this week's Age of Ultron, because we don't have that much going on, and we're going to give our viewers a chance to ask some questions in the comments below. Hint, hint. That said, so I played in Age of Ultron this weekend, and I went 1-2. I was I'm not having a very good showing in Age of Ultron so far. But I'm also, like, the way I've been playing or the way my teams have been working so far, I have no regrets in the way I've been playing. And that's kind of been what's been happening to me. So I don't know if you guys know the story, but month 1, first round and third round, I played against an Ultron Phalanx. Played my butt off against it and just couldn't get through them. Only won my second game. And then this month, first round, I was looking at it like, oh, this is going to happen again because my first round was an Ultron Phalanx. This time I got it past the stop clicks. Do you know what the first click past that stop click is? Regeneration. All I had left was vision at this point, too. It took everything on my team because my team consisted of Vision, Monica Chang, the 80-point Hulk, and one other figure, and the Ultron 8 on drone mode, so 30 points. And then I had 3 cards on my round table. So it took everybody to get the Ultron past his stop clicks, and then I had Vision left. And unfortunately, fortunately for his first regeneration roll, he rolled a 2. But I had Vision with 1 token on him, and I really wanted to call in a character in order to get the finishing blow on him. And that Vision also doesn't come with any kind of move and attacks unless there's an Ultron on the board. So unfortunately, his second roll was a 6, and it was academic from there. So now round 2, I played against Joel, one of the guys that plays in my table game on a regular basis. He had Black Knight, Yellow Jacket, and Victor Mancha on his team. It was a very solid team, very tough going for me. He rolled the shape change and super senses a couple times in the Yellow Jacket, so I had to redirect my attacks, but that was fine. I ended up moving it more towards Black Knight. So I killed the Black Knight, went after the Victor Mancha, and then 1 failed shape change on the Yellow Jacket, and then I think it was precision striking. No, I was actually attacking with the Hulk is what it was. I was attacking with the Hulk that I pulled in from the Fast Forces, who had Battle Fury on the 100-point version. So I got through the shape change, and then it was just a matter of a super sense roll, and he didn't make that. And I think I dealt 6 damage with that 80-point Hulk. I love that 80-point Hulk. Because you know what? Even when he's Bruce Banner, he's good because he has Perplex and Outwit and Shape Change. Can't argue with that, right? So third round, I played against Ryan Bell, one of the guys we've sponsored in the past, and I've practiced with many a time before. I outplayed the crap out of him. He had Modam, he had Yellow Jacket, and then something else, a Monica Chang. And I killed everything but the Yellow Jacket first, very, very handedly. But I was down to the Ultron Drone and the Ultron Drone, Monica Chang, and Vision on my team. And I forced Ryan to make 11 shape change rolls, and he got 9 of them. And the 2 that I made, his defense was 17. He was tiny, and he perplexed up his defense. So I was hitting.
That's an E versus shape change.
Yeah. So suffice to say, I couldn't even get an attack on him. And as the game was moving on, I was like, time for me to run, but it was too late. It was too late, and I was done for. So that it just happens. Sometimes you do everything you can, and then everything goes wrong at the last second. So don't get too confident if you have a character with traded shape change and has super senses as well.
I love pulse waves so much.
Yeah, you know what? I wish I had a pulse wave at that point. I was just begging for one. I was hoping Vision got it or something like that, and it didn't happen for me. Oh man, did it ever not happen?
So rough. That's so rough.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's been this week. It's been a very, very slow news week as far as Heroclix is concerned. We just got off of the state championships. News has been coming in from those, and there's been a lot of variations in as far as each state is concerned. I haven't seen a single repeating team between 2 championships, unless you've come across something, Mike.
Not really. I mean, I took a break for the most part this past week. I went to the cottage over the weekend, which was really nice and relaxing. Didn't take any Heroclix with me even, which is very weird.
Probably for the best of the cottage, I find.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, actually, have you seen anything posted or much of anything posted from HC Realms yet? Have they done like a big report or?
Not that I've seen. I haven't seen any big reports as far as the states are concerned. I haven't seen. I like most of what I'm getting from reports that I've seen come in from other places.
Right.
So I have no hard thoughts. Again, teams that have stuck out to me have been Paris's team with the 2 Rocket Raccoons, the 2 Phalanx Ultrons, 5 ID cards with a Jarvis as well on the team for a 5-character soldier team. I started working on a soldier, and for some reason, Rocket Raccoon definitely came to mind, but Red Wolf also came to mind, and I was like, I'm starting to build my animal team again, aren't I?
I know Howard Brock lost his versus he was in the final versus a Grasshopper Highfather team, which got me thinking about that whole thing. Because it's one of those things where you don't have to roll. You just like
a bunch of grasshoppers and
the person who can't actually attack you, and then penetrating poison with like the red battery, for instance.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting, kind of exotic. I think that like I guess the regular characters, some of them managed to win theirs. Like I know Tim Bold won in Michigan.
Yeah.
But there were some, and Alex Avila in Ohio. But there were some names that I didn't personally know. Maybe that's because I'm relatively new still. But Mike Harmon, I think, won 2 of them. I think he won New York and New Jersey. I'm not entirely sure. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, I know he won New Jersey for sure. And was in the final with our buddy Kenny. There have been a fair number of, I guess, really interesting teams, and now since the cuts were so shallow, we're going to continue to see a lot of variety, which is good. I mean, you can't prepare for everything. Then it's the meta game is not as clear cut as it could be. There's still obviously Greedfather is still around. No more Book of Skulls, so we're not going to see Kenny's team, Kenny's original Gloop team anyway. Because that's gone, but we've seen Spencer's version of that Gloop team, which is with the Indigo battery. I've also seen a version of it with the green battery. That's still lurking about, and I'm sure that'll continue to be competitive for quite some time because there's no simple solution other than penetrating poison animal team. There's nothing, and the animal team struggles with other things. So there isn't one of those. There isn't a clear something that wins everything right now. And I think that last year, not this past Nationals, but the previous Nationals, we had a lot clearer board. Like there was New Mutants team base, double Shatterstar with Adara or Despidara and Black Talon, the big ugly chicken, and we had Bill with Pharaoh, a bunch of entities because they were brand new at the time. We also had the a little bit of Phantomex made some appearances still. Actually, it's come back in a big way. Phantomex I've seen a lot more of.
He filled up the space with the Iron Pharaoh left behind.
Yeah, because Iron Pharaoh got nerfed.
Yeah.
But there was Bullseye or Billseye at the time as well, and Bill got nerfed, so there's a lot less of that as well. Bill's still really good.
Yeah. Great
little value piece for Outwit, let alone his main power.
Yep.
Yeah, little carry action.
Mm-hmm. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I got a chance to give Gravitron a try this weekend. And because the game, here's the thing, when you get into Battle Royales and 10 people who are drinking are involved, you get about 6 turns of the game. And that's in like 3 hours. That said, I had a ton of fun playing this weekend. I got a chance to try Gravitron. He missed a lot of his attacks. I was using him in conjunction with Bill. I made an aim team, so it was Gravitron, Modam, Bill, and Grey Gargoyle, and I had a Supreme Intelligence resource on Gravitron just because I had some extra points left over, and I didn't want to go hunting for AIM scientists. So that said, I did all right. Gravitron liked to miss, and I really should have been using his TK to TK my opponent's guys to me, but I didn't get any lines of fire on it, I guess, so that kind of became a moot point. And because of the technicalities on telekinesis, and apparently the square that you're drawing to has to draw a line of fire as well, which is it made me so angry when I found out about that. I was like, the square is drawing line of fire now? Amber, what was the face I gave? Amber's baby is face of me because that's the face I made. Like, wait, what? One of my plans for my my police brutality 2.0 team was to use Rocket Raccoon with a vortex beam and Banshee, since both of them would be able to see like the top of Ryut. Put Banshee on the top of Ryut and start pelting away at people from there.
Yeah.
Pew pew pew. But apparently that doesn't work. Oh, whew. All right. I'm done laughing. Guys, by all means, if you're watching, feel free to throw some questions in the comments below because we're about running out of topics here.
Yeah, it's just a really dry week for Clicks News. I know that we're starting to work on putting together another series of tournaments up here, though. Probably sometime, I guess, beginning of the fall. Probably a couple win-a-maps leading up to a qualifier here. So there's going to be more competitive play, at least locally, for us. Have you? I guess we could talk about that offline, but. Yeah. Yeah, Gravitron, eh?
Yeah, he's fun. The fact that he can TK opposing characters as though they were friendly is outrageous. Because I'm just thinking of how I could throw characters away, bring them to me, and just blast them away.
Yeah.
The potential on that is comical at best.
Really annoying.
And here's the thing. Amber can attest to this. I have built many a competitive team completely on a joke. my first the first year we had Canadian Nationals, my team it was functional, it did very well, and it started as a joke. I was like, I'm gonna take 10th anniversary and I'm gonna break it. Mike, I'm getting an echo at your end.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
I'll plug in my headset.
So, yeah, and I'll just. Yeah, so that team started as a joke. And then the police team started as a joke. Because I was like, you know what? I'm going to build a team around the Central City Police Captain. And I was like, okay, who's got police keyword? Rocket Raccoon, Banshee, and Cerise. They're not that. Wait a second. They're actually pretty good. So, yeah, suffice to say, I have this nasty habit of getting competitive on a joke. And Graviton might end up being my new joke, which is weird because that's if I play that in 300 points, that's a 10 pole.
Yeah, that's the opposite of what you normally play. That
is not Jason. But I'm thinking to myself, if I play him with a couple of really, like, I don't know, Ultron drones might be pretty good with him. If you can get like a nice amount, because for those of you who remember in Galactic Guardians, I think was a set, we had that Chase Thanos who said, "You come from the other side of the board and come next to me." Well, it's not the other side of the board, but 8 squares is close enough to a range where this character has sidestep. And here's the thing. You don't have to put an action token on this guy until you do this, because you can sidestep and then start pelting people with objects with TK instead of making attacks. But also this character is really good at attacking. He's a Swiss Army knife in and of himself, and I really just want to TK somebody into me one day as a joke. And I'm probably going to end up making something competitive with this. And
I was just thinking, put him with Bill even, because then you can grab guys behind walls.
No, but the square can't draw a line of fire behind the wall.
But you can because of Bill, can't you? Because like it's a power action to choose the highest point opposing character until your next turn. That character can be targeted with a ranged combat attack by one friendly character against adjacent to Bill, agent of aim. Oh, blah blah blah, whatever. But I think you can because of his special power.
Well, no, you see, but here's the thing: TK requires character A making the TK, character B who's being TK'd, and the square all being able to draw a line of fire
because
to
of
the place.
the A to B to C thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So because the square can't draw a line of fire to the guy behind the wall, believe me, it blows my mind too that I can't do this kind of shenanigans with TK with Bill. And I think Bill's limited to a ranged combat attack now, isn't it?
I don't remember what the actual errata was.
Because I'm TKing as though he's a friendly, it's not an attack either. That's the other problem.
Oh, that's weird, yeah.
A ton of things about that.
Well, he becomes a friendly during that attack, but before that, he's not.
Yeah, but because I'm not making an attack, period, it's not really an attack.
Is TK not considered a ranged combat attack?
Well, it is when I'm making an attack roll with it.
Oh, right.
But because I'm considering character friendly, you don't have to make an attack roll with it. It's this, that, and the other thing. All right.
So annoying.
Yeah. So I think now's a good time to move. We're going to start with the Facebook questions. Anybody watching, if you have other questions you want to add, throw them in the comments in the YouTube link below. But it looks like this is going to be a pretty quick show this week. So we're going to start.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes it's okay for us to have a short episode. So we're going to start. This was the first question I got. Yeah. So Dan Upham asks, how would you compare Wave 1 to Wave 2? There seems to be more competitive pieces in Wave 2. Mike, I'm going to let you answer that one first.
Well, it's really hard to answer a question when you've already answered it. Definitely, Dan. I think that Wave 2 does look a lot more competitive than Wave 1. Is that similar to War of Light last year? I don't think so. I think that both waves had good stuff in it.
Both waves had entities.
What's that, sorry?
So both waves definitely had entities.
Yeah. I actually think that there were the better entities were in Wave 1. In that particular case, or at least were up until more recently when you see some of the other entities becoming more useful. I haven't seen Butcher used really at all.
No.
But I was hoping to see more possessors. It's just Jocasta, as far as I understand it so far, anyway.
Yep. I don't know. We might see a Demetrios. We might see a Doombot. I read Avengers AI.
yeah. Or we might have to wait until there's the symbiotes in a future ASM thing.
Yeah, we'll see. Myself, there is, from what I've seen, there's a couple characters that are competitive, but all we've seen are Ultrons, and of course, every single Ultron, because of the drone mode, is very competitive.
Yeah.
Other than that, from Wave 2, we've seen War Machine, the Giant Man, and the Yellow Jacket. So we don't have a solid, because what that means is we've seen one character from each rarity as far as the Ultrons are concerned, and then we've seen Yellow Jacket, Ant-Man, and War Machine rounding that out. Now, yeah. I mean, there's still room for things that could be competitive or strong. I'd never seen a preview of Quasar, and then the second I saw Quasar, I was like, wow, this guy's amazing. 5 damage, 11 attack, psychic blast with running shot coming out of Wave 1. I haven't seen anything like that in Wave 2, short of the 6-armed Ultron, but that's a chase, right? And that's another thing, is we've seen 2 chases, a super rare, a rare, an uncommon, and a common as far as the rarity distribution is concerned. So there's going to be some disparity in that. It seems that they moved back towards the higher power and the super rare thing, which was different. If you checked out War of Light, a lot of the key winning pieces were uncommon, specifically Sodomiat and the Weapon of Cord.
Yeah.
But of course, a lot of them stayed in the common, uncommon, rare slots. Like Kamatui was very strong. Ganthet was very strong. What's her name? Syed, also very strong characters, making up the common, uncommon, and rare slot. So Age of Ultron, I think that's one of the few flaws I see in this, is as far as a sealed set is concerned, it's not built like a sealed set where a lot of the power should be coming from commons, uncommons, and rares. But it seems more of the power is situated higher up in the super rares and chases. So I have, again, I'm not gonna base it on too much of what I've seen, but of course we've also seen a rare with full dial pulse wave.
Yeah.
So yes, Wave 2 does have a lot of very competitive stuff, but when it comes down to it, that means Wave 2 is a set full of competitive against a bunch of competitive, and Wave 1 was a bunch of non-competitive with Falconer Ultron in there. So there's a disparity there.
Well, Ultron 1 as well.
Yeah, well, Ultron 1's cool, but yeah. I don't think I ever saw it get played.
I saw it get played a couple times, but to actually use his ability, it's really slow ramp up.
Yeah. Scooter. I personally call him Scooter.
The Scooter. He does look like a Scooter. He looks like a Segway.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
You know what? For me, it's just like what came out. What was easier to say? Like I heard Teapot. It's like Teapot doesn't feel Scooter. Yeah. Sounds like I'm yelling something from the Dukes of Hazzard. Scooter.
Hey, Scooter.
All right. Next up, Travis Wellams asks, what would you think of a resource called the Watchtower that mimics the Round Table but from Justice League figures instead? Same concept, but for DC. Could the options of Justice League figures be as competitive? I'm gonna take this one first, if you don't mind, Mike.
Not at all.
I think if we were to see something like the Watchtower functionally, it would have to be, if it's going to be functionally the same, it still has to make some kind of comic book sense. That's one thing they have been doing as far as the resources is concerned, is there's some level of comic book sense to it. Now, when I say some level, the Book of Skulls didn't have all the hammers sitting on it or sitting next to it when this story happened. There was a book, and then hammers fell from the sky. So the function of the resource worked like it did in the comic book, but they kind of had to make a resource where it all fit on it, right? To the same degree, the power battery, though it doesn't actually hand out constructs, the constructs are a representation of that character getting the ring. And the Avenger ID cards, I believe the idea might actually, I'm not sure if it's in the book as well, the Avengers comic book, so don't quote me on this one, but I've seen in the animated series where the Avengers cards actually act as communicators too. So you got this, the ID card comes from the comic, and this is not like something that is just made up for the sake of being made up. That said, I can see something like, I believe the Watchtower uses 3D imaging holograms to talk to each other. So I could see something like the constructs being made of each of the characters, sitting on a computer desk and called the Watchtower communicator or something like that. That would make sense to me. Do I think it's going to happen soon? Probably not.
You can just have holograms of each of them, like little constructs, kind of like what they did for the Sims, right? The little tiny, the lawn grub, as I call them, you know? The what is that, greed? Looks like a little orange lawn grub.
Yeah. And yeah, it would be something see-through like that. I don't think we're going to see it soon, and I also don't think it's going to functionally work the same way either. Because what might happen is we might see somebody do something with this thing that is insane. But right now it hasn't had a chance to really shine because things like the power batteries kind of overshadow it to a degree. Some of us are trying to make it work. We're forcing it regardless. And we're just going to let ourselves suffer for it. And
that's the royal we right there.
Yeah, that's the royal we. I'm talking about me and a few other people out there in the world that are trying to make this thing work.
Yeah. No, Kenny's trying to.
Yeah. So, and I've been talking with him about card combinations a lot lately. So, but yeah, I mean, I can see the idea happening, but I don't think it's going to functionally be the same either.
I kind of hope it doesn't.
Yeah.
I would like to see more variety and something that does compete with the batteries because they are the major resource right now. Because it is one resource, really, if you think about it. It's just one that comes in multiple flavors.
I think at this point you got to be careful about something that does compete with the batteries, though, because when the batteries go next year, that means that thing that competes with the batteries just overshadows everything else. Right?
But that's a whole year away as well. So,
but that's now 2 years of that thing competing with the batteries and then just absolutely dominating everything after that.
Right.
So I think they're going to be in that careful state where the next thing they do is going to be competing with the 3 resources that aren't the battery, and then when those 4 resources are the thing, it will be a kind of a hard reset, if you will.
Well, I mean, it's been proven that the power plant does compete with batteries. I mean,
it's going with the batteries too, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and actually, personally, I think it's a little bit more potent offensively, but it only works for a specific type of team.
Right.
So, and that's range team for those of you who haven't heard me say that before. If your team is ranged and you have a power plant,
they work good.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's
actually why I went with it for my Police Brutality 2.0.
Hey, me top 2 or top 8 with that.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah. All right, next, Chris Stockhouse. I thought a fun competitive team would be 3 Avengers Assemble Falcons, each with an entity. What 3 entities would you put on a Falcon army? Mike, you can go ahead and have this one first.
3 Avengers Assembles Falcons. I guess Parallax. Well, you could do Parallax with Prosallet and Butcher, just for the extra numbers. I mean, that team just sounds like it does what it does. There's not very much nuance to it, and I don't know. Go for it. I wonder if it would do well. One of our local players was actually creating a Falcon team a while ago, Emily, and she had the Falcon with the Book of the Skull and a Johnny Quick. And I forget which entity she was using on it, but the whole idea was that, the first move action is a free action that happens before the free action to drop the hammer, and then he already has it. And you can really ramp up an Alpha Strike very, very quickly. But I guess, he's too low point value. I think of super strength as something for that's really effective when you have 100 points or more on a character. So in this particular case, you could pick up an ultra heavy. I mean, a heavy object's great because you +2. But in terms of using Procelit with a Falcon, I mean, could work. I mean, he's got that. He moves all over the place pretty quickly. But if he misses, he's screwed.
Yep. I'm going to definitely go with the sentiment of Procelit and Butcher. I'm going to agree with that for sure.
Yeah.
I'd probably go Predator. Predator. Because you can get shape changed as a defensive option. I guess that's the only other option I could possibly just to be hard to get along with on that one. Yeah, because Ophidian, the only thing you could really use is the outwit. But yeah. Predator gives you the shape change. You already have the energy shield. You don't really need the defense powers. Procelit gives you the super strength, which is good going in. He's got an 11 attack too, so when you go in, take the movement, you can give him +1 attack, +1 damage with a heavy object. You can get an extra 3 damage out of your attack, so 5 damage coming from a Falcon.
Yeah, well, you can do Heroclix as well, though, for the actual power. You get, yeah, Ion would work.
Yeah. Absolutely. Then you get Impervious and Outwit on one of them. Because there's 7, and I guess +1 defense if you want, and +1 damage.
+1 defense and damage. That's exactly what happens. Well, not precisely, but very similar to Atomica.
Yeah. So there's our thoughts on that one.
Cool beans. Lots of crap flying around the table.
Flying pigeons of doom. All right. Nat Hoover asks, out of the Wave 1 Age of Ultron stuff, which Heroclix figure do you think is the most well-rounded and vice versa? Least well-rounded. If I was to say most well-rounded, like all-round good character, Monica Chang. For 65 points, you get a ton of stuff.
You get lots of stuff.
You get the shield team ability. You get Perplex. You get Enhancement. So if you're sitting next to somebody taking a ranged combat attack, they can get +1 range, +1 something, +1 damage. If you're really going offensive and they already got high enough stats, +3 damage. With the use of a power action, a Perplex, and Enhancement for being there. And yeah, Monica Chang, bang for your buck. She also has Psychic Blast to go with 10 attack, 5 or 6 range, and 2 damage. So not the most spectacular damage, but she's got Perplex. You can fix that. As far as versatility, for 65 points, Monica Chang brings back shield, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, the range +1 from the shield.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's incredible. She's the most bang.
Yeah.
Definitely, I would agree with you on that. Yeah. I like Alexis, too. Alexis is actually really good. Surprisingly good.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because she has 3 damage, probability control, 10 attack with, does she have attack power? Precision strike?
Precision, yeah.
And 17 defense with energy shield or something like that?
ESD, yeah, right off the bat. Probability control, you can't beat that.
Yeah.
Phasing, Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus, and she's a flyer.
Yeah. So she can carry things in.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm gonna go middle of the road, one-dimensional but very good is actually this character is kind of multi-dimensional at random. The Hulk.
Hulk is great actually for 80 points. Similar, She-Hulk at her lower click, which is what, 50 points?
75.
Yeah. She's really good too. Actually, I used 2 of her.
Right?
What's that? Sorry.
Did you start with that charge flurry power on that one?
Yep, she gets the charge flurry and super strength right off the bat for 75 points.
And she's got a great ability for re-rolling the turn or the first turn or the initiative for sealed, because not a lot of theme teams happen in sealed.
Yeah.
So those will be the 2 middle of the road. Now, what do you think is the least well-rounded, least good character? One you don't want to see.
The poorest?
Yeah.
That's a toughie. Maybe I'm just using it wrong, but I was kind of disappointed with Protector. But if I look here, let me see what else there is. Yeah.
All right. Least, if I was to go with least good character, it's really like the characters are all very middle of the road, very solid. If I was to choose one that like kind of let me down or wasn't very good, I'd pick Grim Reaper. I can't think of a team where I'd want Grim Reaper on my team, to be brutally honest.
Test 1 is too expensive.
Test, yeah, there we go. Test 1. Who are we kidding? Test 1 is the most gigantic non-giant.
He's racist. He is totally racist. His sculpt is just racist. Seriously, it's just horrible. We just. By the way, if someone takes a screen grab of that, we're in deep shit.
That's all right. I'm pretty sure there's somebody who's photoshopped Hitler mustaches on my face after all the games.
Already, yeah, probably. Yeah. Yeah, no, seriously, Test 1 is just pathetic. 150 points. What were they thinking?
I'm still trying to figure out why he's not a giant.
Yeah, well, why isn't Modam really? Like, just for the sculpt size, really.
Yeah.
I mean, the character wouldn't be, but
yeah.
I think about why wouldn't they just make her a smaller sculpt?
I don't know. I think they just wanted to reuse. Like, I'm not sure. I'm gonna get a close look at it right now. But I heard the Captain America. Like, here's the thing. Everybody who pulled a Modam this weekend called it.
Well, yeah, she weighs a half pound.
She weighs a metric ton.
Yeah.
As far as Heroclix are concerned, oh my God, they have to go past so much stuff now to get to Captain America. MODOK. Okay, no, it's not the same. It's not the same model. It's just similar because if you kind of shook your character,
I looked at it. Yeah.
With Captain America, you could tell when you were getting into MODOK. Mostly because that set was small characters too. There wasn't like MODOK was huge. The Human Torch was bulbous. Everything else was a human-sized character for the most part.
One of the ones I was hoping to pull, but I didn't, was Black Panther. He's really cool. I like his whole next to stuff ability. And yeah.
I got lucky. Amber as the judge was allowed to buy 2 packs as kind of a perk for being a judge.
Yeah.
For Age of Ultron.
As it should be.
Out of my packs and Amber's 2 packs, we pulled 3 Ultron 8s. I already had like 1 or 2 of them. So there's a guy in our store who really likes generic characters. Like, he likes to get big armies of generics, and he trades really well with them. So I traded him 3 Ultron 8s and an Ultron Drone, and probably a couple extra things that I get in the next wave to match up for a Black Panther. So I haven't actually had a chance to use him. But incidentally, the guy who won at my tournament, Aubrey, was using the Black Panther because the Black Panther is a Phalanx Ultron's nightmare because
he is really good.
Ultron doesn't ignore block or there's no hindering you can actually ignore that will stop his blocking line of fire from really working because it's triggered on him being adjacent to it as opposed to line of fire crossing it.
Yeah,
how stealth works, right? So, yeah, he's a Phalanx Ultron bloody nightmare. But yeah, Test 1 for sure is probably one of the characters that makes you go, Mostly because much like I think if I was going to say one of the other things about Test 1 is Test 1's a disappointment because he's almost as heavy as Modam. So you think you're about to pull a Modam, and what's worse is you pull the Test 1.
Oh, yeah. He is huge.
Yeah, he's pretty big.
Piling robot.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess that's what we'll call on that one. I'm going to quickly check if we have anything else. Okay, so nothing else on Facebook. Let's see if our viewers have added any comments below for questions on the YouTube channel. Oh, we only got one. John, I'm going to probably mess this up. Mohanan. That's how you would pronounce it, Mohanan.
I don't know. I'm looking at it. I don't know.
Yeah, you're probably right. What did you guys think of the Black Panther from Wave 1? Yeah. Mike likes him. I can't wait to play him. I like Black Panther.
I love the sculpt.
Yeah, the sculpt is really cool.
Really cool.
Although I have to say, a couple times I looked over to the side like, how did he pull a Black Lantern zoom?
Yeah, because he's got shadows.
If you see that picture, look at the characters, like, that's awesome looking. But if you look at it in the wrong light or the wrong angle, it's like, Black Lantern zoom. Oh, that's not a Black Lantern zoom. So, but I do like the character. He's my kind of style where you got to play with him very carefully, and it punishes your opponent for you being awesome at the game. But of course, much like anything, he's susceptible to Pulse Wave, which isn't that prevalent in Wave 1. Wave 2 is going to be a Pulse Wave nightmare. Because you have Ultron 6, you have War Machine, you have the, what was it? The 6-armed one has Pulse Wave in there in the late dial.
That's the Age of Ultron one, yeah.
Yeah, Pulse Wave is everywhere in Wave 2. And that means a lot of things just aren't going to matter. So, Black Panther being in Wave 1, fit into Wave 1. So let's see what Wave 2 does that that's going to have any kind of answer to Pulse Wave. Because I think out there right now there's 2 answers to Pulse Wave, and one of them is only an answer to long-range Pulse Waves in the Indigo battery, and the other is the Silver Centurion, who specifically says, I don't care about Pulse Wave. Right? So, yeah, Wave 2 is going to be tough as far as, you know, what counts. But again, we could see something. We still have more to see, and something could potentially stop all that. So I don't know. And Mike, you already told us you like the Black Panther. Last chance for questions, guys. And quick refresh gives me nothing. All right. I guess we're gonna call it early this week, eh?
Well, I mean, it's still been an hour. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
We don't have much to talk about.
Yeah. We Kevin Smith did big time today.
Totally.
All right. So I want to take a chance to once again thank our sponsor, hcrealms.com. Hop into their shop, buy some cool T-shirts like Mike's going to show off again. The Indomitable T-shirt. Boom, right there. Very cool T-shirt. And Mike actually used a coupon code himself and supported the channel. Got 10% off of his purchase. So that's when you go to hcrealms.com, click the shop button, line up your purchase, and then when you're checking out, use the coupon code MARRIED to get yourself 10% off of your purchase. As well, I want to thank Big Bully Games, and that's at bigbullygaming.com. They sent us these really cool Made with Clicks custom poker chips. They have a lot of gaming accessories for stuff like Heroclix. So I want to thank them for providing us with these very cool, once again, Made with Clicks poker chips. Very cool. And we're probably going to grab some more stuff from them because I like characters who create tokens. And that's probably a good, they do have some good options for objects, etc., as well as line of fire tools, I believe. Action tokens, bystander tokens, standard objects, character-specific objects. So check them out at bigbullygaming.com.
Yeah, I've got them on my screen right here, actually.
Oh, there they are. Very cool to check out. All right, guys. Somewhat short episode. Much to talk about, and want to thank you guys who did join us for this week in the Meta Lab.
Thank you very much for watching.
Yeah, and don't forget, guys, practice
Makes
your team
better.
There you go, Mike. You got to finish it off. All right, guys. Have a good night.